we really want to thank you for being here with us and answering our questions. I'm going to be honest with you. I know you for like, I think 17 years now. And
Something like
I wanted to do this and have your opinion and have your sharing your knowledge with us. So thank you for doing this.
that's okay. As I'm retired from the paparazzi world, I'd be happy to reveal most of the secrets, if not all of them, you know?
Sounds great.
You know very well that I turned you down a few times.
Okay, so Chris is going to address the questions to you.
Yeah, of
Yanni,
course.
JJ, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well, you know? Still alive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and in our business, I think the reason, and this is such a great opportunity, is because one of the things that we must always worry about for our clients, those particularly looking for anonymity, is the paparazzi, as we call the newsies,
Yeah.
trying to deal with that. So we have a number of questions we'd love to ask and get us, kind of get a really good square front answer from you.
Yes.
Starting off with, how is it? As the paparazzi, or you're looking for a story, how do you select the person about who you want to develop a story about?
Is different way to select a person. One of the reasons would be that this celebrity has done something naughty recently. A second person would be some rumor or some info, intel from someone in the circle. I will give you examples in a second. And the third thing would be that this person hasn't done anything. He's been not on a limelight in a while, and we just go on a thing that on a hinge that we might find something. So it can be very random as well. Some paparazzi start um, um, driving in the street and you see somebody, which I've done that many times, and see somebody doing something, and that's how they pick them up. Now, also, you guys tend to use the same cars all the time, and that's when paparazzi we learn all the number plates and we know them by heart at some point. Yeah.
Yes.
So using the same cars is a no-no. It used to be a great celebrity security called I forgot his name. He's dead now. I forgot Jerry the Judge. They used to call him, Irish guy, and he used to do one thing. He used to go outside with a normal car, outside the venue with a normal car, and saying, "All right, guys, stay in two lines, and I will give you a nice picture of the person coming out." And he used to put his sub coordinates on the back with a taxi taking the celebrity somewhere else, and that's it. He fucked us many times over. Sorry for my language, guys, but we are all adults here, okay? So
Yes.
that's what it is.
Understand.
Another way was you get some tip from someone. Let's say even hackers has approached the paparazzi to say, "Look, I've got a good tip. What would you give to me?" And it's always that person close to the paparazzi that one time a certain footballer was having an affair with a certain singer, and one person closer to us said he's having an affair, which we never caught it because they were very careful. But it's always somebody out there willing to sell that information.
Yes. Well, we have some questions pertaining to some of those later. Yeah.
I've
So
seen the questions, but I'm just saying that this is a combination of everything. So is either on this question, let me put it together. Is either the person done something naughty recently, like instant when we start chasing Jude Law because he had an affair with his nanny. Either the person is randomly selected, or either the newspapers are interested on that person because they haven't been seen on a lime scale on a limelight for a long time. So
yes.
it's very random, to be honest.
True, true. And that would be set as kind of our second question. What kind of pictures do you look for to set up your story? Again, like you're stating, it sounds like it has to do with the newest story or rumors you get and getting that picture, which would obviously set up a great story. No matter what the picture is actually of, it makes your story very well.
Well, what kind of picture? Is also depends on the story. Let's say the story is somebody cheating on someone. We used to do very well on money on pictures of people just shopping. Okay, And those pictures of people shopping, it used to be good for us because we used to sell it to the brands. Like, let's say, Lily Allen went and shopped in Prada, and Prada used to buy those pictures from us. So it's not only pictures to the newspapers you guys see; it's pictures to sell in the brands for their own thing. We still sell those pictures. Beach pictures always the best. Anybody spotted in a beach with bikini, especially ladies, always the best. Now, I'm not saying only the ladies because I've got a picture of Simon Cowell on a beach and I sold very well because they said, oh, how Simon lost weight or how Simon put weight. I got picture of Prime Minister of, David Cameron, Prime Minister of England in Corfu in Greece. And they said, oh, look at this time, he's put weight, So the beach pictures is always have to do something about the body and the put weight or lost weight or anything they sell. Pictures doing something naughty always sell. A random picture of somebody walking in the street, it does sell, but it's not going to make you a fortune. But sometimes the story develops in the picture itself. But the problem is, what you guys have to be careful is the cameras in such days are so brilliant. I can take a picture from inside my car with a very dark windows, and I can take a brilliant picture even in the dark. And I proved that in some recent pictures I did, not recent, sorry, 2 or 3 years ago, because I haven't shot anything for 2 or 3 years ago. But I've got Kylie Minogue's boyfriend at the time kissing a girl in a corner. At the time, nobody bought those pictures because they didn't want to put any smear. But when Kylie Minogue split with his boyfriend, with her ex-boyfriend, whatever his name was, those pictures went for me and made me good money. So what I'm trying to say is, like, you have to be careful because in every car possible in that street, it will be somebody inside shooting from that dark window.
Yes, no, understand very clearly the technology and the upgraded in IT for photos and the ability has increased, incredibly. I know. So when you get pictures like this, let's say you get the good ones, the naughty ones, and you're good to go. How much are these pictures worth? I mean, if you don't mind my asking, what's the cost you can get for a good picture and or a good story attached to it?
Well, the good story is, do you want me to tell you some figures of what people got in the past? I mean, the prices is going to change. I mean, people are not paying crazy money anymore. But if you got that good picture, you can still make good money. I mean, the picture of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt in Kenya, taking the first pictures of them together, in Kenya, the first pictures. And I will tell you a big secret. That was a tip given to a certain person by a hacker, and that person sold that information to an agency. Those pictures sold in total for about 1.2 million pounds.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. My best picture was a certain celebrity naked on a film set, 40,000 pounds, And where did I get that information? The lowest person paid on a set, which is a security guy or facilities guy. He gave me the information, So
that question is coming. Trust me, the weaknesses in the chain. So again, and we've already gone over the next question. What are some prime locations you get good pictures? Like you said, beaches, different places where inherently there are weaknesses, and you can tell pretty much any story you'd like with the picture based on what you see.
I've got a very good pictures. The very last pictures that I've got, it was very random. I was in an area of London called Primrose Hill. I was just sitting around and I saw Rita Ora with Andrew Garfield just walking by. And I got, to be honest, I got some very dark, shitty pictures. It was very late in the night, late in our evening, but those pictures made me a whopping 10,000 pounds. And that is not the total, that is after my commission, because I gave it to an agency gave me 60%. So think about the other 40%, how much that is. So they made me about 10,000 pounds, my commission, my side, So that wasn't a bad picture,
No, very true. Very true.
Sometimes even a normal picture that a couple walking, but this is a high-profile couple, will make you good money.
Yes.
Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt was always desirable, and we always made good money when they were in London. I traveled the world as well, as you said, and I traveled the world and I've done pictures in many countries. In Venice Film Festival, I've done pictures in Greece, as Danny knows, because I met her many times. I've done pictures in Ibiza. I've done pictures in Africa, in Mauritius, in America. I went in New York. So I've been around a lot. But the main pictures are the random pictures, when people don't know you chasing them, when people don't know you following them, when people get caught very randomly. And these days, I would, the last 2 or 3 years of my career, nobody even saw me taking a picture anymore because I was so careful. And the most money people will make is on exclusive pictures, because if it's not exclusive, it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I've done a picture of the royals from inside the boat. I hired the boat, which cost me 3,000 euros for the day. Yeah, 3,000 euros for the day, the boat. But the security of the royals was looking around, and that was in Ibiza, was looking around in binoculars to see any paparazzi, any long lenses. We were in a massive big boat. They couldn't see us being inside the yacht. So we taking pictures from inside the windows, you know? So
Perfect.
there is always something that will do. What I've seen also, you guys, you're trying hard on a nighttime, you're trying to shine torches on the front of the lenses. That doesn't work. Trust me, that doesn't work.
Nice to know. Nice to know.
That doesn't work, okay? The only thing that will work, the only thing that will work, if you are in the beach, and nearly I got blinded in Mauritius because the guys was putting reflection mirrors on my lens, and that will blind you if he catches you. And I nearly got blinded once that day, you know. So that is the only thing that will work. If you shine straight in the lens in somebody's in a daytime, in a sunny day, in a night,
Yes.
in a nighttime, the paparazzi don't even have to put the camera in their eyes because they don't even have any settings. The cameras or settings are set for the nighttime. They put enough depth of field, and all they have to do is point the camera and shoot. I don't even have to look through that viewfinder, you know? So that's why that torch doesn't work, never.
Okay. All right. Good. These are good tips. I like this because half of these are the ones we assume we think we know, and you're coming forward and discrediting these ideas, which is good. Aside from the physical surveillance, which obviously following and getting pictures, what are some of the other methods you use to get information about your next target or your next person for stories?
Information, okay, information. Let's say David Cameron in Greece, one of the papers put David Cameron is going in Corfu for holiday, yeah? And they put a picture of swimming pool in a villa. Okay, I got a telephone call from a certain agent said, listen, Yanni, David Cameron is going in this place. He's a up-and-coming guy. He wasn't even elected. He just got elected at the time, the party leader of Tories in England. Can you go and find this thing? If I was without any knowledge of the Corfu, I would never found him because he was in a very secluded villa. But because my nephew lived in Corfu, I asked him, and he said, "Oh, I know that villa." He said, "I just done the air conditioning installation on that villa last week." You know, so that's the only way I found it. So it's always the inside knowledge of a place. If you know the place very well, it's always that knowledge of a place where you're going. Okay. Prime location. Prime locations, as we said, is always no. Sorry, we are on the physical side of surveillance. Okay, sorry, I'm mumbling here. So also is always the tip, or always the luck. So is three is the tip tells you where the person is going to be, what the person is going to be. Believe me or not, even one of the big celebrities in London, who used to live in London, her name is Madonna. Even one of the inside people of her was giving information. Okay, so even one of the inside people living with her was giving information at the time. Okay, so that is from personal thing. So
Gotcha.
is the surveillance, which for me the surveillance is okay, but they always will know that you're following.
Yes. Very true.
The best thing is when you get the info that Madonna is going to be horse riding in Richmond Park tomorrow, and then you go there, and then nobody knows that you're there, and you just get that bloody shot, yeah?
Yeah.
And the other thing is a luck. You're just being lucky by driving around and you see somebody sitting somewhere or somebody walking or something, and then you start the surveillance, but very carefully.
Right.
So,
And I would assume if you're in more places, more of the time, you stand a better chance of increasing your odds.
well, what it is we know where the celebrities hang around, so we always used to circle those areas. I mean, I know this area doing around, because the celebrities go to one, always go for a walk in Primrose Hill, or they will go shopping in Bond Street in London, or they will go shopping in New York on the 42nd Street, whatever is that street. So we kind of learn the pattern. They create a pattern. Once they become celebrities, they're not going to go to in New York. They're not going to go to Bronx. You know what I mean? They always will
No,
go to pattern.
very true. They live a particular pattern and a route that they don't tend to break from. Hence, pretty much where you can stand a good chance of finding them.
Paparazzi know exactly where it's more chances to finding that celebrity.
Right. Right. Okay. Well, who are the people? And you mentioned it a minute ago. Some of these different celebrities you've reached out to through their closest people. Who are the people closest to the target or the person going for the weak link to get information from? And who tends to be the strongest ones, like the ones you can't possibly get information out of?
Okay. The people that you can never get information of is the very happy employees. Okay. The very, very happy employees, the drivers that get rewarded, that get a tip. Because the driver doesn't get a tip the first time, when they drive them the second time, they will fuck them over.
Okay.
People that working for the celebrities closely, that always will do something. Will if they're not happy with that particular celebrity, they will say something. But sometimes, either they will leak you information because they want to, because of this person, the celebrity himself told them they have to leak some information,
Yes.
But then the problem starts because when we go to them and we say, okay, thank you very much for that tip, I give you let's say $200 or $500, yeah? And we always pay the 10%. So they like that bloody money. And they say, is money there? She asked me last time myself to do it. Now why shouldn't I do it myself and get some more money? So the celebrities start making the mistakes themselves by trying to get into the limelight somehow, especially when they new celebrities. They make many mistakes because they teach people that it's okay to tell the press something because I want it. But then try to close the door, but the people are used to the money. My main information came from restaurant waiters and concierge from hotels. And they are one of the weakest links ever, because they're so lowly paid, and they will always have some paparazzi in the books. It doesn't matter who. Nearly every concierge, nearly every waiter will always give information because they always have some paparazzi giving them money. Okay.
Gotcha. So, what, out of curiosity, numbers-wise, what is the payoff if they come to you and say, "Hey, I've got some information. What's it worth to you?" You say, "Okay, I'll pay you what? What do you pay for information if you have to pay?"
10% of the sales, and lots of the people got some good money. I mean, one of my guys once got £2,000 for one information because I gave it to him straight away when he gave me that information. I made the picture, sold the picture for £20,000. I gave him £12,000 the next day. So.
Okay.
You can imagine that guy was calling me every time,
Cool. Of course. Okay, so on the flip side of that,
was the film set security, it was the film set security. So one of your celebrities go on the film set, one of the security of the film set, because they only get paid $100, $200 a day. They would love to get something extra,
Of course. No. So, okay, on the flip side,
Mm-hmm.
if the celebrity finds themselves suddenly in the crosshairs of your camera and really doesn't want the story out, what have they been willing to pay in the past for you to drop your story and not go after it?
I never accepted anything because then they can take you as a blackmailing. So I said, I'm sorry, I'm not even going to talk to you about that, because then I know in the past one of the Italian celebrities went and said, "Oh yeah, he tried to blackmail me, and that paparazzi went to prison." So I'd never accept anything like that. I had it offered to me only twice in my career of 15 years. One of them was the guy from what's his name? He was married to Gwyneth Paltrow, from that band,
Yes.
Chris Martin. Chris Martin had a car accident in the street. And he said to me, "How much do you want me to pay for your card?" And I told him I don't even sell my card. I don't want to talk to you about that. And then he tried to make out like I was chasing him and stuff, and I was 4 cars behind him. I wasn't even chasing him, but anyway.
No,
And
so I understand. So the biggest concern there then is that actually it can become blackmail at that point. That's not obviously something you want to be involved with.
but the problem is, I know this Jerry the Judge shooting with Johnny Depp in a film set, yeah? And he is one of these guys in America working as a paparazzi in Miami at the moment, called is Belgian photographer, a very very cheeky guy, yeah. And he said to Jerry the Judge said to him, "Sell me your card. How much do you want? And then forget about it and go." And he said, cameras these days got 2 cards, yeah. And he said to Jerry the Judge, "Okay, give me 300 quid, and I give you the card, and that's it, you know."
Yeah.
So Jerry the Judge give him 300 quid, he give him the wrong card. He walks, Jerry the Judge even drives him off from the set to his car, which was about 3 miles away. And then 2 days later, he sold the pictures because he never gave Jerry the Judge the right pictures, you know?
Oh, okay. So yeah, yeah, I got you. Okay. In your experience, now we've kind of talked on this, but the target or the person you're interested in, their staff are close in personnel. What percentage of them, I guess, are willing to turn and give you information? What industries tend to be, and you've said this already, you said the hotel staff, concierges. Who else tends to be in what industries the people who would give you the information the most? Does it still come back to those who are lowest paid and unhappiest?
Okay, it would be drivers the most, yeah, the most, because you can get very odd the security that is working for a certain celebrity or the driver working for a certain celebrity. But I will tell you which is the people that you never can break out, and I will tell you in a second. But hotel people, hotel staff, hotel concierge always can be bored. Waiters in a very high class restaurants, which are very well, you can be bored. Very few people that working close to the celebrities can be bored. You know, like okay, I had a guy working in Madonna's house. You know, he was giving me info. He could be shady sometimes, but he was more of like 99, 95%, 95, 99% accurate. Who else? But it will never be. Let's say Kate Moss's driver, he was never breakable. You know, Kate Moss's personal driver, he was never gave anything away. Okay, but lots of Amy Winehouse's drivers was giving information. Lots of Amy Winehouse's close security was giving out information to the paparazzi. Yeah, so when they go out on a paper and they say, "Oh yeah, but Amy Winehouse is suffering from paparazzi," it was because of her closest security they giving information. You know,
Wow.
so what can I say? You know, it's hit and miss. But every celebrity that got good people around them, and I tell you, 2 celebrities that got good people around them. One of them is this Leonardo DiCaprio, and is the hardest celebrity to get. I know that question is coming later, but he's one of the hardest celebrity to get. And Scarlett Johansson. How many paparazzi pictures you see out of Scarlett Johansson? Hardly ever.
Right. Almost never.
Almost never, yeah? She is very careful. I mean, I chased her around London for 10 days. Only I got her eyeball through a scarf once, and that's it, you know?
Okay. All right, that's interesting. I like that.
She's very careful. But, what's her name? Taylor Swift in the beginning used to be like, how can I say, like giving pictures away to us. She even gave me pictures inside the Top Shop, and she was almost having a setup with me in Top Shop. But then 2 or 3 years later, she became very famous and she changed the plug. You can't switch off like this. One time you can give pictures away, and one time you cannot give pictures away. You know, you either don't give pictures from the beginning because the paparazzi is used to you giving pictures, and you cannot change the roles. You know,
Yes.
like for instance, why nobody chases Tom Hanks around the world for so much? What, do you ever see pictures of Tom Hanks?
True.
No. Why don't you see pictures of Tom Hanks? Because he never done any big scandals. Yeah, he
Right.
never done any scandals. He's a normal guy. Nobody wants pictures of normal celebrities. Why nobody gives a fuck about Judi Dench or Ellen Mirren? Because they're normal celebrities. They don't do nothing wrong. But why people want Hugh Grant? Because he goes with prostitutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you tend to have a dirty life. You give yourself up to
So
that. Yeah.
why people was loving pictures of Taylor Swift because she keep changing the English boyfriend. So is all these scandals that makes the money is not the good people. You know, normal people they don't sell for me. You know, they never used to make money.
No, of course not. Well, what can we do as the security teams, as the protectors, to stop you from being able to do your job or make it more difficult for you to get the story or obtain that intel?
Okay, decoy cards. Don't use the same cards. Try to play smart with the celebrity by doing like diversions and everything. And I remember one time. I mean, the pictures wasn't usable, but one time Mariah Carey was singing for the Prince of Dubai or Prince of one of these countries in a private estate. They had 50 dogs. They had 50 dogs. They had about 150 security guys. I still found a pocket to get pictures. It was lucky because I didn't have a second converter, and I had 600 million 1.4 converter and a two times converter. If I had two times converters that day, I would have taken a perfect picture of her and the Prince of Dubai or Prince of one of these countries came out and had a chat with her. The
Ah,
security caught up with me after I've taken the pictures. The pictures were so bad because I didn't have the right length. It was over a mile, and I couldn't use those pictures. But I still did the pictures, and that was the security failed after 50 dogs and 150 men. Yeah.
uh,
So
are you saying you took the shot from a mile away?
yes.
Holy crap!
But
That's wow.
it wasn't usable because it was looking like a dot in my lens. And when I blowed it up, it was a bit distorted, and that's why I couldn't use it. But I did take a shot over a mile away.
That's incredible. That gives us an idea of the kind of distances that we're looking at. Because, like you said, with the right technology and the right equipment, you could have had a very clean shot at that distance.
If I had another two times converter, I would have had a brilliant shot. But I was about 400 mil short, on my lenses. That's
No. Wow. Okay. Well, listen. A couple of final questions. Who is your most difficult target to produce a story or to get pictures about?
definitely Scarlett Johansson was my worst nightmare. Yes, and what's his name? What's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio. About four different people that comes down. You think it's him, and it's not him, and he's gone walking in the park from the fucking staff entrance on a hotel. So he's a nightmare as well. But Scarlett Johansson was fucking impossible.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's interesting. It's funny. You mentioned that she's never popping up in any major pictures or scandals, which she doesn't, and that would be the reason why.
Exactly. She is very careful. She is very. I mean, Pippa Middleton in England, she's very clever as well.
Right.
I mean, she could see me sometimes before I saw her, but I still got a picture many times. But
Right.
Scarlett Johansson for me was the most impossible one.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, in kind of closing, as far as some of the questions that we had, what's any other tips or thoughts that you could give us just to help supplement what the security providers need to know? What's something else you can tell us?
Well, the main thing is the celebrities, if they want to go in the areas that they usually go, try to use different cars, even use taxis, minicabs, Ubers, because the celebrity knows all the cars that the celebrities use.
Yes.
So use Ubers, go as quick as possible. But the problem is that if you go to these famous restaurants where all the famous people go all the time, 90% of the time, one of the staff there will have a paparazzi in his books. Yeah.
Yes.
So the main thing is going on unknown cars, unless somebody is already doorstep in the house. You should see even inside the cars. The cars with the blackout windows are the lethal ones for you guys.
Yeah.
And I know David Beckham coming to my car window and knocking and knowing that I'm inside and he's just rocking the car. You know what I mean? And I was like, "You fucking bastard," But yeah, you know, it
Yes.
happens. So they look for the blackout cars and stuff like this, vans with we used to use vans with the back windows blacked out or mirrored, and then in the front we used to put like builders hats and builder vests, you know. All these obstacle vehicles, always you be careful when you follow them outside of the home or outside the hotel, because somebody might be doorstepping.
True. So really it's observation on our part, but really nothing pattern. Don't do repeated things over and over. It gives you the chance to develop that.
Why go to the same restaurants, and they love the restaurants they love, I know, but they go to those restaurants, somebody always will be there to give a phone call or a text message to a paparazzi, you know?
Yes.
That's the thing. Is all this the patterns, and the information is the main thing. Always the leaked information. Now also, what else it is now with the technology is the Twitter. Okay? Lots of people, you go to a restaurant, normal restaurant, and lots of people get starstruck and they go, oh my God, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis is in this restaurant now. That is when Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis was in London, yeah? I got enormous sets of them too, walking around and stuff, just because of the Twitter. People tweeting, I just saw Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis in this restaurant, and they just been eating in this restaurant, and we just drive down there. So the paparazzi is very much doing the social media. The celebrities loving to do the social media, but the smart celebrities is doing social media after the event is happened. But the ones who do the social media when the event is happening, they will always get the paparazzi there because they monitor the social media very closely. Yeah.
Right.
So,
And they're basically giving away their position. Whereas if they're not, Twitter almost acts like your intel source. All you've got to do is watch Twitter and somebody will tweet that they saw someone.
We used to watch Twitter all the time, you know. We used to watch Twitter all the time. I mean, Twitter was one of our biggest sources ever, you know. I mean, so I mean, I can't believe it. How Twitter used to be like a free information for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
very much so.
that is another thing. So somebody will spot you going shopping somewhere, and that's it. I mean, the biggest pictures is a couple going spotting, or a man going spotting for an engagement ring for the fiance. Oh yeah, he's been looking at Tiffany's at the rings. He's going to propose. That's it. It's gone. The story is there. You know what I mean?
Yes, very much so.
So you can get story out of nothing sometimes.
No,
I mean,
very true.
I would love to go through my pictures, because when I see the pictures, I can get back reminder on how did I get that picture. You know what I mean? It's crazy, you know?
I would imagine after the years that you have done your job, you have probably endless stories.
Also, we monitor airplanes, yeah?
Yeah.
Even private airplanes. We all got the flight radar, and Danny remember very well when I was in Greece, I was monitoring a certain boat, yeah? So we've got that technology. You remember, Danny? We said,
I remember, my friend. I remember.
the boat is moving in the middle of the night. We went to see the boat is moving, you know. So, you know, it's like we monitor those things 24/7. Boats. I found celebrities on islands just because I knew the boat and I knew where that boat was every second, you know.
Right. So basically, when we've used that before, Denny and I have used maritime apps that show ships and where they're flagged out of and who they're owned by, so you can track that. Now, when someone gets aboard a private airplane, they can block the tail number. I'm assuming there's ways around that, so you can find out where that aircraft is at.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes
that's what I thought.
Once you call the tail number, it's too late because the info is being taken already, you know.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Well, listen, this has been.
It's difficult with the private jet, but it's still doable, you know?
Yes, of course. Of course. No, listen, this has been so enlightening. This has been great information. I don't know, Denny, if you have any other questions.
Let me tell you one thing, yeah? I had information on a tail plate of a plane of a certain celebrity, Reynolds, and what's her name? The one from the Gossip Girl, his wife now, you know?
Yes.
What's her name? Blake Lively, yeah?
Yes.
So I had the information on the tail plate, and I knew he's going to Spain. Now, halfway through that plane diverted, and they came to London, and they stopped in London because Reynolds had a bad back, yeah? And they stopped the plane in London, so I did go to London hotel I knew they love, and that is again repeating the pattern. They love the same hotel. I never got them in a different hotel, just in that hotel every time. So I went to that hotel. I saw the plane landing in London, and I went to that hotel. I got pictures of them in there. I followed them after that all the way to Luton Airport on a private jet again when they were going to Spain. I still got pictures on the Luton Airport, and that's it. They were in a private jet. I still got that private jet landing in London, and I knew which hotel they go. Again, we come back to that repeat routine, you know?
Yes, the patterns that they have give them away more than anything else.
Exactly. The most clever people is like Rihanna used to come to the same hotel, and then when she started going with this rich guy out, she started being clever, and she's going to private houses, Airbnbs, and she changed them all the time. Luxury houses, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't go in the same house every time she comes in London, and nobody knows. She's living in London at the moment, and nobody knows where she's living, you know? That's how they learn. With the time, they will learn if they don't like the paparazzi around. So, and they will not follow the pattern anymore.
Sure, it's the age-old thing that Yasser Arafat did. Every house different every night to keep yourself hidden.
Exactly. So, you know, what can I say? Anything else you want to ask, guys? I'm here, you know?
Oh, well, I just want to say, because I know you for so many years and I have seen you working in Greece, and I always wanted to do this interview with you. I'm just waiting you to retire and do something else so it doesn't come in conflict. But I really appreciate the information and the insight that you gave us, because in our industry, people are being taught most of the times about the tactical things and shooting and fighting and everything else, but not many schools are actually addressing this issue, which is very important.
Guys,
And
I'm sorry, Danny. I will tell you the last story, and I will tell you this story, which if you want to record it and show it to your guys, but if you don't want to record it, cut it out. I used to be the cocky Albanian bastard going squaring all the security and saying, oh, what the fuck, you know. And I saw that I wasn't winning like that, okay? I wasn't winning like that. So 11 years ago or 12 years ago, when my wife was pregnant, she was like 3 months pregnant, I'm following David Beckham all the way down to the airport with Victoria Beckham, yeah? So I've seen in this program on YouTube funny stories that the guys was fingering the guys on a football game just to win the football game, and I thought, good idea. So instead of squaring to the security that was touching my arms for 3 times or 4 times to not to take a picture through the window, I said to him, "What's your problem? Why you keep touching me?" It's like, "Oh, what you gonna do about it?" And I fucking went with my finger straight up his asshole, you know. Sorry guys, but I did it, you know. And he's like, what do you think you're doing? What do you think you're doing? I said, excuse me, mate. I said to him, I thought you like boys. Shall we go to a hotel later? I'll show you some good time if you like me. You keep touching me. He's like, shall we leave it here? He walked away. He never came back. I never saw him security in them, you know. So that became my trademark in London, you know. Everybody used to grab me. I used to put fingers up his ass, or I used to grab his balls and squeeze it, you know. I had guys asking me, security guys asking me, would you like balls? They said, you know, do you like touching balls? I said, no. I said to this guy, your wife told me that your balls are small. I needed to check them myself, you know what I mean? Another guy, security in a hotel, I put him 4 fingers up his ass. He's like, what do you think you're doing? Do it to yourself. I said, I do it to myself every night. I wanted to test yours today, you know? So I became very cheeky on my last years. I became the security guys was too scared to come next to me. I even got the police called on me for sexual harassment, you know?
I was going to say, the charge is going to change.
Well, the charges didn't, because I wasn't that stupid. I covered my body, I put my camera in the front, and I used to fucking distract the security by fingering the asses, you know? So
well, there you go.
I was clever about it, you know?
distraction.
Wow.
Yeah, that is the only distraction. I mean, the security used to come and hug me not to take pictures. I used to put one camera, because as I said to you, when cameras are on short and flash, unless you grab that lens, you're not going to do anything. But if you grab the lens, you're in trouble, because that is a charge. You're stopping somebody from making his living. But you can't do nothing on that instance unless you cover it somehow with the body, you know. Now,
So basically,
these guys used to come and hug me and hold me. I used to pass my hand with the camera on top of their heads, and I used to grab their balls with the other hand, you know. So they were distracted twice. I still got my pictures.
so basically, you're saying that there are laws to protect you from somebody grabbing your camera or trying to block
I mean, yes, because you grab the camera, and I say, you grab the camera, I felt threatened, I could hit you, like I hit a couple of securities before. Because I feel threatened, I hit, or even in New York, he used to be this photographer. Every time they used to grab his camera, I used to take him to court with a big lawyer, saying that they stopped me from making a living, you know. You cannot grab somebody's property, can you?
True, very true.
You know that you can. What about if you grab your camera? If you grab somebody's camera, they will grab your gun if you got a gun, or they will grab anything that you've got in your pocket. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, very true.
I took the security's wallet from his pocket. He grabbed my camera. I went to his pocket and got his wallet or his phone one time, you know. And he's like, give me my phone. I said, no, I'm not giving you your fucking phone. He said, why? It's my property. I said, you just fucking touched my property. What is the difference here, you know?
It's a good point. It's a very good point to be made.
You know, so you guys have to be careful as well. Once the paparazzi is there with the short and flashes, you try to be as clever as you can, but is 9 in 10, one of them will get a picture, you know?
Yes, it becomes, and with technology and drones and other things, it becomes more and more difficult every day.
The drones, I don't know, the laws with the drones, you know, is laws that they cannot fly drones above your property and stuff like this. I never took a picture of somebody when they were in the property, even from something. Yeah, that was, for me, was ethical. I would love to take the picture, but there is laws that you cannot take pictures of when somebody, let's say, somebody is sunbathing in their garden, you can't fucking send a drone and get in that picture because that is a breach of privacy, you know? They are in their own house, you know? So that is a different story. You can't get a picture from somebody's fence if they are in their garden, you know. So at least in London you cannot do that in England, you know. I don't know how the laws are in America these days, but they should sort out these laws, because if somebody is in the private space, is in a private space. Once they are in a public property or a hotel or public property, then they are exposed to anything. But if they are in their own house or a rented villa or something, that is a private space. So
in America, it's a little bit different in that if they can see into your property from a public spot, they can take the picture, and drones are still protected. It's an interesting, strange dichotomy of laws versus protection of privacy.
They need to change that law. People need to push for that law, because now we used to rent, before the drones, we used to rent helicopters to do that, you know, but then they changed the law in England. So you cannot really do that. Once somebody's in the space, is in the space, you know?
Correct. Very true.
And I would appreciate for everyone, because I don't like invading somebody's space, privacy. I mean, your house is your house, is your castle, is your fucking thing. You have to respect that. But if you are in the street kissing somebody in the street, then it's my fucking game. But in your house is your game, you know?
Well, and listen, you have done so well in your business sticking to those rules. So it does prove that the invasion of their privacy is no longer necessary.
No, that's not. I used to have ethics. Look, I used to have ethics, and that's why people like it most loved me, because I always used by those ethics. Maybe that's why I wasn't the most rich paparazzi ever, but I made a good living over the years, and I appreciate that I did that job for 15 years, and I did make a good living for many years. But the problem is, I did have some ethics as well, you know. So that's
exactly.
Not many, don't get me wrong. Not many, don't get me wrong, but there are some ethics, you know?
Yeah.
True.
Wow, that was so much great information.
This is the kind of information that should be taught more.
Mind your assholes, okay? From the fingers.
I will need to cut that off.
Well, we'll cut some parts out, leave some parts in, you know.
You don't need to cut that out, because it's a true fucking story, you know? I mean, I'm not lying to you. They have to expect that sometimes, you know? It can be a cheeky one like me somewhere, you know?
Well, and you know what the crazy part is? If the security is not aware of what's coming at them, the experience is paramount.
Hey, that guy with a Victoria, every guy that I've done that to, they were fucking shocked as fuck. It's a picture of Kate Moss's driver. my friend was taking a picture from another angle. He came and he pushed me, and I stuck the finger up his ass, and he's in his toes, and his mouth is like, you know what I mean? So trust me, if I find that picture at some point, I can send it to Danny, and she will laugh at us.
Yes.
So
Well, listen,
that is a
JJ,
different.
thank you. Thank you so much for taking time with us today, being willing to sit down and be very candid with us. It's very informational. We really appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you, man.